A federal judge has ruled that President Trump's use of the National Guard in Los Angeles this summer was illegal. In his 52-page ruling, federal judge Charles Breyer says that Trump violated a 19th century law barring the use of soldiers as cops. The judge then warned the efforts to send troops into other cities could amount to, quote, creating a national police force with the president as its chief. Joining us now, former federal prosecutor and former lawyer with the Department of Justice and the National Security Division at that department, Brendan Ballou. Brendan, really good to have you. So we just got a bit of a primer from Courtney Kube on the National Guard and the ways that it can be used legally. This judge said this way was illegally. If Donald Trump was trying to argue that, no, he does have that authority, what is the argument going to look like? And I ask you this because I presume they're going to appeal.
Yeah, they will absolutely appeal, and it's going to be an absolute brawl at the Supreme Court. Just to lay the basic foundation here, so as you suggested, this is a case that concerns the Posse Comitatus Act, which is a law from right after the Civil War, so about 180 years old, that embodies the basic idea, as you said, that the military should not be used for domestic law enforcement. It's an idea that really goes back to the Boston Massacre, this idea that our military is used for foreign enemies, not for civilians here at home. Judge Charles Breyer ruled that the deployment of National Guard in Los Angeles this summer violated the Posse Comitatus Act. Judge Breyer has already ruled once that that deployment violated the law. He was overturned on appeal. It is certain that the government is going to appeal this decision.
What authority is Donald Trump likely to argue? And what is your sense of how the Supreme Court might rule? This has been an extraordinarily friendly Supreme Court to the executive.
Yeah, you nailed it. It has been an extraordinarily friendly Supreme Court. I think it's pretty clear just reading the decision that Judge Breyer has the better argument here on the statute, the idea that the Posse Comitatus Act clearly prohibits these sorts of domestic law enforcement operations. I also think that there's some pretty tough, really scary, frankly, concerning facts with this deployment that doesn't help the government. The fact that they initially issued training materials to the National Guard and Marines saying that they should comply with the Posse Comitatus Act, but then after issuing those written decisions or orders, gave verbal orders to ignore those earlier ones. It's all very concerning looking. But, you know, this Supreme Court is really determined to expand the president's power at every opportunity, and especially these areas that affect military or foreign affairs. So I think the government is going to get a sympathetic audience in front of the Supreme Court.
What happens if he tries to do this in Chicago?
Well, there's going to be probably the exact same lawsuit challenging this under the Posse Comitatus Act, challenging this under the law that in certain limited circumstances allows the president to federalize the National Guard. You know, those decisions are going to get quickly appealed. I also think that you're going to start seeing challenges to the president's actions on constitutional grounds, saying that deploying the military into the streets of Chicago potentially violates people's First Amendment rights to privacy or Fourth Amendment rights to not have unreasonable searches or seizures. All of which is to say there's going to be a ton of litigation about this.
No doubt about that. Brendan Ballou, thank you so much.